Hello and welcome to this video. So let's start off with values. So what are values? Values are basically what determine how light or dark a shade is. At the left you got white and on the right you have black. Anything in between that transitions from white to black is called as gray. You can sequentially arrange it as like 10%, 20%, 30% and so on as the strength varies. The ones near the white are known as highlights. The ones near the 50% mark are the midtones and the ones near the black are the shadows. With this in mind, let's see how light and shadow interacts with a real life object. Here I got a bottle. The light is coming from the left side, so the shadows will be on the right. The highlights will be aligned to the left and the darker tones will be aligned to the right. The interesting thing to note is that the highlights are not at the ends, nor are the darker tones at the far end of the bottle. It's near the center. So what you have at the ends actually is the reflected light from the surface where you keep the bottle on. So that would mean that the middle or the darkest tone will be never at the far end. So you always have to make sure that you include the reflected light from the surface in your drawings. These are some of the basic forms that are already been shaded. So I start off with 2B at the far end. The light is coming from the left side again, and I'm going to be showing the reflected light from the surface, so it will not be the lightest tone. At the far left, I will start with 2B and then I'll transition to the highlights, which will be the white of the paper itself, and then I'll transition into the 4Bs, 6Bs and the 8Bs, which is like the darkest tone that you have, which will again transition into like a secondary highlights, which will be around 4B, and then you transition into a secondary darker tones, and this will be a little bit lighter than the ones at the center, and this can be something like a 6B, which will again transition into the reflected light, which will be 2B again. The shadows will start from 8B at the darkest tone, and then you can either vary the pressure or you can change the pencil grade to 2B and work in that way while you're fading the shadow from dark to light. These are some of the other basic forms. So you have the cube, cone and the prism, all using the same principles as mentioned before. For the sphere, the light appears like a spotlight, as you can see, and the reflected light actually appears all around the edges. The only thing is that it varies, like the ones near the shadows will be the widest, and the ones as it comes near the highlights it gets thinner. So using these principles, I'm going to be shading the cylinder. So I'm going to be starting off with 2B, which will transition into the highlights, and then again I'm going to be using my 2B, a 4B, keep in mind that you don't use a finger or anything to smudge and try and make it smoother. It will just mess up the paper. So now I'll move on to the 6B. See, I'm getting darker now, and I'll move on to the darkest shade I have here is 8B. I'm going to be using 4B. You can even use 6B here to transition into the secondary midtones or the secondary highlights. I'm going to be using 6B for making the secondary darker patch. Which can then transition into the 2B. We could also use an eraser, like in this case, to make the secondary highlight a little bit more dominant than it is right now. You can finish off the edges with a sharp 2B pencil. Now note that while using this technique, it may appear that these objects are glossy, and you may want to shade like a matte surface. You just have to use the same guidelines I've shown here. The only thing you have to change here is the contrast. So here I've left the white of the paper. What you could do is you can fill this with 2B and keep the darkest tone as 8B again, or you can reduce it to 6B. So once you reduce the contrast, you show that the surface is not as glossy and will appear to be matte. One more thing to notice here is that the strokes I'm using here is vertical, but here it's horizontal. So the difference here being that the stroke that I'll be using will always be aligned to the axis of the object. So in this case, the cylinder's axis is running like that. So I'm going to align my strokes in that way. And if in this case, like the axis is running horizontally, the strokes will be aligned in that direction. So now for the shadows. Shadows are basically like 2D representation of the object itself. So for example, for a cone, you're gonna have like a triangular shadow, as you can see, and then you can just fade it out to white again. So you can use a basic 2D form as a guideline to make the shadows. And for the sphere, I've used a circle. Let's see how the shadows interact with the position of the light. So one way you could determine the length of the shadow is by, let's say if you plot the light source to be here, all you have to do is just draw a line which connects the light source to the farthermost edge of the object itself, and you have to extend it till the baseline. So that would give you the approximate length of the shadow that you'll be working with. In that sense, if the light source is directly above or closer to the object, the shadow will be shorter. And like the farther the light source is from the object, the longer the shadow will be. So now let's see how to do textures in a shaded surface. So there are two ways. One way is you use a dark pencil and you make the textures right away before shading. The other way is you can use a pointed end which is blunt enough that will make an impression on the paper, but it will not tear it. So I'll show you the first method here. I'm going to be drawing a wooden texture, so I can make the texture first. So even for the textures, the ones near the shadows are darker compared to the ones near the highlights. Now we can use the basic shading patterns that I've shown before and complete the same. So now let's see some still life examples. You can start drawing objects around you and start composing them in an interesting manner. So that's it for this video. See you in the next one.